This is Portillo Here with SSurge Media Here. We're going to talk about the Real Madrid Atletico match in the Champions League last 16. The Real Madrid, it was an amazing match. Just to get off, amazing match. Julian Alvarez, what a player. Brahim Diaz, what a player. All right. Close match. Vini should not take a penalty Real Madrid ever again. I think Vinicius Jr. has already proven that he's not a best penalty taker. I think Mbappe is really good at penalties, just being early in the season. I just think, he was under so much pressure and his head, and he had just no. He just had to get back into the rhythm of things. So I think Mbappe should be the main penalty taker for Real Madrid. I just really want to talk about the whole penalty situation because I think that right there is, for me, one of the most dumbest things I've ever, the dumbest debate I've ever heard in my entire life, and I got into arguments with so many people with this because I'm in the right and I'm always in the right, and I love being right because I am right. So let's talk about just the Real Madrid match. Really close match, down to penalties. So many chances for Real Madrid during the match, and they just couldn't get it back into the net. But goes to extra time, and it goes to penalty shootout. Real Madrid won penalty shootouts. A miss by Marcos Llorente, a former Real Madrid player, and a miss it went in by Julian Alvarez, but VAR saw that it was a double touch, and they disallowed it. When I saw it at first, I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way." Because for me, before any of that, if Real Madrid do something wrong, I will say that they did it wrong. I'm not biased. If Real Madrid does something wrong, I say yes, that's in the wrong. When I watch games and they get a call that favors them, that wasn't a proper call, I'm like, that's not right. Because I'm a Madrid fan by heart. I love Real Madrid and I'll do anything for that club. I love that club. But if something happens, I'm not defending it because I know what's right. And I say when the team plays bad. I say what players deserves to be benched. I say what players should start. I say what Real Madrid should do. I go at the coach. I do whatever because I know what's right. And I don't care if it's my favorite club of all time or my favorite player. I stand up and I say what's wrong because I want Real Madrid to be the best. And I don't want them to look bad. So yeah, just to get that straight off. But this right here. All right, let's start. So, who missed the penalty? It was Lucas Vasquez. So, we'll just go in the frame here. Julian Alvarez scores a penalty. I was like, oh, that's a good penalty. Top left. And then there was a little commotion. That the penalty shootout stopped for a little bit. And the ref goes to VAR. And he says, goal disallowed in shootout. It was a double touch. I was like, what? And the second I saw the clip, I was like, oh yeah, I see it. It's the slightest of the slightest. Maybe some people can't really see I don't know why. Or I don't know what. But you can clearly see a double touch. The slightest. You can tell when it's not going to be the bright as day. It's not going to be so clear like the Riyad Mahrez in Leicester clip. Or so many other double touches in the penalties. But you can see a slight little, I'll show it right here. You can see the slight. This is the UEFA confirmed. The confirmed. Actually, let me change this here because this is Champions League. Oops. Oops. There we go. So you can clearly see here. Let me fix my camera here. Okay. You can clearly see here. It was a clear double touch. Like, you can see the ball move. You can clearly see it. You can see right there the ball clearly moving from his left foot. So I don't get why there's a debate. Sure, this came out a day after the match. But even the clips beforehand, you still see a slight touch. And then people here complaining, saying, does it have to come down to this? A slight touch. Would anyone see this touch if it wasn't for VAR? Players on the field screamed the second they saw the penalty that was a touch. So I don't get that debate. I really don't get that debate. It's so much. In this video, I'm gonna react to the CBS because some of the stuff that they're saying is absolute mind blowing to me, and I just completely crazy. But we'll do that later on. And I got into a debate with someone, and it got heated. And for me, they said Real Madrid always cheat, and this season has been completely the opposite. I say when Real Madrid cheat, and this season has been the complete opposite. And I feel like it happens with every team. It's just Real Madrid just gets more notice because they're the best team in the world, and that people hate on them more for being the best. So which is what. So whenever something happens with them, they get blasted on. So when the penalty shootout, you clearly see the double touch. So I don't get the debate on why someone is saying that it wasn't and that Real Madrid had to cheat to win. And it was just so much going on. So here, let's just react to CBS Sports. Actually, I don't know if they might copyright this video. We'll just listen to what they have to say.
Frame. Okay, next frame. It's in motion because he hits it with his right foot. It's imperceptible to me at this point.
No, they're saying, Nico, hold on. They're saying he's.
We froze it. We have it on a 500-inch screen behind us, and we're looking at it with the Hubble telescope like this. I can't tell. No one can tell. No one can tell if there's a touch or not. And you're telling me there's definitive proof that's like 100% that plant foot went and it touched the ball. He didn't try to cheat. He slipped.
It needs to be.
That's the thing. People say the penalty should have been retaken because it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. That makes no sense. They say, oh, when a goalie steps out of the line, they retake the penalty. That's completely different. That has nothing to do with that. That's two complete different scenarios. If you're a goalie and you step out of line, you're disadvantaging the striker or whoever, the kicker to score the penalty. So that's your fault why you have to take the penalty. But when a player messes up, there should be no retake because that will benefit the striker itself. The goalie stepping out of the line will benefit the goalie. But the striker, if he does something like that, it will benefit, or the person taking the penalty will benefit them. So there shouldn't be a retake because you're like, oh, I did something wrong, let me just retake it. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. So I don't get that narrative of people saying Julian Alvarez got robbed and that should have retaken the penalty. Even like top legends of the game were saying that. It's the Champions League. Step up. You can't just think, oh, I messed up, he's got to retake. No, you have to do it correctly. So I really don't get that narrative of people saying that Julian should have retaken the penalty because that makes absolutely no sense. And then that narrative is just, for me, it's just mind-blowing to me. It's really mind-blowing. You shouldn't get a retake on a penalty because you messed up. It's your fault. It's not the referees. It's not Real Madrid. It's not the goalkeeper. It's your fault. So why should you retake the penalty? I really, it's like, oh, I missed a free kick. Let me retake the free kick. No, it doesn't work like that. You messed up, and you got to deal with it. So that, like, I really don't get that narrative.
Empirical evidence. Yes or no, did he touch it? And the referees, I really do. I really want to give them a benefit of the doubt that they have another angle that's not that one that proves that
this was before that angle I just showed you. So this, he gave Vermeer the benefit of the doubt that there's another camera that showed the proper kick, and it was correct.
Definitely grazed the ball after he shot it. But here's the thing. Had it not been called, nobody would have noticed. Nobody would.
That's what I said. That's a lie. The second the ball was kicked, everyone was saying it was a double touch on the bench, on the lines of the players kicking for the penalties. Everyone saw it. So that's complete BS because everyone was complaining, saying it was a double touch. Even Julian knew it was a double touch. So I don't get that narrative.
VAR has come into this game and made it more.
That's another thing. We're pausing all the time. It's not. People thought that it was VAR. And they looked at the kick, and they automatically went penalty. No, they have so many cameras on the ball, so they didn't look at the one we saw initially, the spot kick one, the penalty from the exact moment of the match. Those weren't the ones VAR was seeing. They have way more better cameras, way more fancier cameras that shows each touch of the ball, and I don't think that there was no chip in the ball to prove that it was hit. Because in the World Cup, there was a thing that where, similar to Ronaldo header, when people thought Ronaldo scored, but they used the ball, I guess, chip or whatever, and there was no contact between the ball. So I think it was like Bruno's goal or something. That's what I thought initially at first, and that's what they were saying at first. I don't think they really said anything. They said it was a thing they have in VAR where they have something on their screen that detects when the ball was touched, and that might be still the case as well as if they use a VAR. But it wasn't a thing that they're like, oh, it looks like he barely kicked it. It's just disallow it. Or it looks like he touched it. It was disallow it. It wasn't like that. So I hate that narrative as well. With that.
Controversial, because had VAR not gotten involved there, we wouldn't have ever realized that happened. So here's the thing with VAR and the essence of the game that's being manipulated, twisted, whatever you like. You're a Real Madrid supporter, an Atletico Madrid supporter, or a neutral, and you see that, and you walk away from the game today saying, I like what's going on with our sport. You cannot be happy that this is this direction. This is the invasiveness that VAR has brought to the game. There's a justification.
So if Real Madrid lose this match, they would have got robbed. Like I really don't get his narrative. He's saying let's just run it back.
Guarantees the invasiveness that VAR has brought to the game. There's a justification. I guarantee you there's a justification because the laws are how they are. And if it's no retake, it's no retake because that's the laws how are.
No, because if Real Madrid, let's say if Marcos Llorente didn't miss the penalty, Real Madrid won on penalties, it would have been clear as day as a robbery. No, none of the. It's either way. Atletico Madrid, Julian Alvarez double touch. They end the match. They're losers. They lost. Blah blah blah. But Real Madrid would have been the team that got robbed if it was the other way around, and that it's just so. I just really
are written. The goalkeeper can get off his line. He can stop the penalty kick, and it's a retake.
I mean, there's so many VAR rules that are black and white, right, that we just have to accept. We see it all the time with the offside.
I don't know. We just have to accept them, Poppy.
What do you mean you don't know how to accept them? Those are the rules. You can't get mad over the rules. I really don't get that. I don't get why people complain so much about this situation. It happened. It happened. It was clear as day. They're not even debating on that. They're just debating on, like, VAR in going to the penalty shootout. You're complaining over something that was completely illegal, and you're defending it. Like, that's just weird. If it was the other way around, if this was Barcelona, people would not be acting like this. I promise you. If this happened to Barcelona, if Barcelona were in Madrid's shoes right now, none of this would have happened. This
the ones that are yes or no. I understand in this situation, though, it is so difficult for us to see on this angle. And
I understand his rage. I understand his rage 100%.
Are you even walking away from this thinking that could have been so easily us on the other side of this? So no football fan wants to see this.
Yes, but I think the talking point now is that it feels like Real Madrid is on the better end of some of these decisions. Now, this is accidental, right? This was a slip. This wasn't an attempt to cheat. And I think, going back to Nico's point, this has more to do with the laws, because I think VAR, there's some good things. I like the technology to see if the ball crossed the line. I like that. I like it for some handballs, although some handballs we can all agree are absolutely ridiculous. And it feels like with VAR, the biggest issue is so many accidents that aren't intentional are being punished. And that's where it tends to lose me a bit.
Okay. With that, they just talk about the breakdown there. VAR is, no one really liked it when it first came to the game. People still really dislike VAR, but I still think it's needed. You know, with you can just the first thing that came to mind was the Harry Maguire offside goal against Leicester. I think it was the FA Cup. Complete robbery. I mean, you can't really do nothing about it. It's just a complete referee mistake. There was not as much hate as that with this. So there's a confused. Harry Maguire scores a complete 100% offside, miles offside goal. But that gets nowhere near as hate as this, which was a complete illegal kick or a complete illegal penalty. And the decision was the right call. Yet people hate on it. I really don't get why people get mad about this situation. Sure, I get what people saying it has to come down to this for in a shootout, but that's how the rules are. If it happened to Madrid, I promise you, I would not be complaining. If Madrid were, if Jude Bellingham shot the ball and hit his foot like that, I would not be defending. And it's mostly Barca fans crying, calling Madrid cheats. I see more Barca fans mad about this situation more than Atletico fans. But it's because Real Madrid are the best, and people hate on the best. So that's pretty much what I have at this take. It's just for me, it's laughable. Honestly, it's really, really laughable, and people just hate Real Madrid to a point where they're trying to call a decision that was right wrong. And and the debates I've been with people for this situation, I was right. I'm happy I'm right. And then people turn and then say that the penalty should have been retaken afterwards. And I'm like, they lost the debate and then say, oh, that he should retake the penalty because it wasn't intentional. That makes no sense. That really makes no sense. And it just, so many people complain, and it hurts my head. And it gets me really tight. But Madrid are through the next round. I hope they smoke Arsenal. I don't think Madrid will win the Champions League, but I just want to prove everybody wrong. And I hope Barca get smoked by who they were in? Dortmund? Yeah, never mind. Beforehand, I had Barcelona as favorites, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's just a lot with this match going, and a lot of controversy and debates. But end of the day, Real Madrid did nothing wrong. Barca fans can go cry about it. Atletico fans can go cry about it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.